This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. I am Rod Brooks, and yes, indeed, this is Quality Hang. Welcome, everyone. As always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my friend, your friend, my partner in crime, the co-host of Quality Hang. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, dog? How you doing?
What's good, man? Battling the cold. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm a man, and I will sufficiently crumble and cry to myself after we're off air where nobody can see it.
Marcus is playing hurt. This is going to be Marcus's flu game. And I cannot wait to be your Scottie Pippen, where I carry you, in essence, off of the court. And
Yes.
we will have that famous picture, and we will be tied together for the rest of eternity. I once again, though, I love how we continue in our backgrounds and our attire. We show the duality that is Quality Hang, because I look like I'm in some sort of an adolescent treehouse. You look like you are in a room where there's some real grown man shit going on. I'm wearing a jacket with a hood on it, and you're wearing a vest and a tie. Like that's the duality of Quality Hang right there in a nutshell.
Right, that's what it is, baby. That's exactly what it is. You know what I'm going to do? I keep telling myself to do it, but I have the TV behind me. I'm going to put the Quality Hang logo on that when we do the show.
Ooh,
yeah. Be like fat in the back.
That's top flight stuff. I've thought about kind of redoing this little space that I'm in, and I thought about getting a television in here. That's a really good idea. That's an excellent
little Quality Hang logo in the back so people can see it.
I love it. Just to let the people know. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. But before we do, we start as we always do by thanking the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, the sponsors of Quality Hang, the presenting sponsors of Quality Hang. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. And at all 3 locations, they all do the same great things: fantastic food from a wildly diverse menu, a craft beer selection that is expansive and awesome, and just as expansive and as awesome, the live entertainment selection at all 3 Hop Monk venues. You could get anything from touring acts from around the country stopping at all 3 Hop Monk venues, or you can, there's country line dancing night or open mic comedy night if you fancy yourself as a comedian. If you are more of, I want to observe the comedians, they have comedy nights there as well. So really, no matter what you're into entertainment-wise, you can find it at one, if not all of the Hop Monk locations in Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. So to see what they have coming up as far as live entertainment, live music, what have you is concerned, check them out online at hopmonk.com. Really the best course of action is to follow Hop Monk on all of the socials, but you cannot beat that personal experience, that personal interaction. So if you happen to be in or around Sonoma, Sebastopol, or in Novato, there's a Hop Monk in all 3 of those places, and you cannot go wrong. The food is great. The craft beer selection, as I mentioned, is out of this world, and you're probably going to find something that strikes your entertainment chord. So make sure you stop by, and when you do, tell them Rod and Marcus from Quality Hang sent you there, and you are promised to have a good time. It's funny, we were just talking before we went live that it's baseball season. Not officially, we're still a month away, if not a little bit more, from opening day, but spring training has started. So basically it's baseball season, and it's just kind of like, I'm just going to ease into it. I'm not going to dive right into exhibition baseball in February. I mean, you want to, because like it's baseball and you're like, okay, we're getting closer to spring, and there's just something, I don't know, there's just something innate about, okay, it's baseball, so I'm going to get excited, but I'm not at this point yet.
Yeah, baseball is just a sort of at this point, it's kind of a seasonal marker to me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's kind of what it is, just a seasonal marker, and then when it kicks into high gear, You know what? People talk about basketball season being long. Baseball season's long.
Yeah, and it's interesting you bring that up because, like, we just got through a long slog of a football season, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not ready for that commitment.
Yeah.
It's like getting out of a relationship.
Yeah. I'm not ready.
Do some shit, all right, in my life. I'm not ready to make a 162 plus game commitment right now. Like, maybe I want to ease into it. Maybe I want to sample the product and then just back off a little bit. But after a 17 game
night or two,
regular season,
hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But after a 17 game regular season and the playoffs, and I'm trying to manage the side piece that is the NBA season.
Yeah.
Hey, Major League Baseball. I'm not ready for it. I'm emotionally unavailable at this point.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Like, basically, baseball is the chick you can get back to at any time in the year. Like, she back there.
It's such a fantastic point.
She probably hitting you up every now and then. So you peek over, you see how she's doing. You want to make sure she stay close, so you don't let her too far away without staying in contact. And then you check in. You know what it is.
There's going to be a random June where Major League Baseball is going to come in real handy, right?
That's right. That's right.
Major League Baseball will be there for you with with open arms. Like, oh, okay, so you know what? You've got past college basketball.
Yeah.
The NBA finals haven't started just yet. Oh, you need some entertainment? Major League Baseball will be there for you and probably have a nice home-cooked meal waiting for you. So thanks, MLB. Thanks for always being there, even if we don't necessarily want to be there with you.
I always got you. I always keep you in the back. I can always text you on a random night. You up?
I know I'm entertaining myself more than anything here, but Major League Baseball personified as a random jump off is the funniest fucking thing I've heard in a long time.
It's such a strange phenomenon, and I don't know how many other Gen Xers feel this way. As guys who grew up loving baseball, I like it. I can enjoy it, but I don't piss my pants excited about it like I used to get.
Yeah, and the thing is, I do think while the game still has some flaws, I think it's played better now than it was when we were younger or youngsters, or when we were growing up loving the game. I think there's been a deleterious effect in terms of just pitching being throw as hard as you possibly can, and the art of hitting really isn't there. It's a zero-sum game. Either strike out or hit the ball hard enough to where it goes over the fence. You don't have what you used to have back in the day, where you had the leagues would play different styles, and even within the American League and the National League, different teams would play the game a different way. Now everybody plays the exact same game. So like I said, I think that the way the game has sort of been math equationed has taken away from the diversity and the interesting nature of baseball. The strategy 100%. But in terms of just the pure athleticism that it is required to play Major League Baseball nowadays, I mean, I think the game is being played at an extraordinarily high level. And I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that from an athletic standpoint.
Yeah, it's so funny because I think in every sport, and this is where so many of the young people fall down because they are delusional. Every sport, the athletes are clearly better, but that is a product of the passage of time and better understanding of nutrition and all those things. Obviously, if the greatest players of all time all are on the same playing field, have all the same things at their disposal, there's going to be some evening out. Yeah. I think that because of the advanced athleticism, everybody thinks today's players are better than yesteryear's players. I'm like, no, being an athlete is not being great at the sport, and you got to understand that. You got to understand that.
100%.
By the way, Ricky Henderson's record for stolen bases will never be broken. It may be the most unbreakable record in baseball at this point.
It's on that list of unbreakable records. I think the one that's never going to be broken is that we're never going to see anybody with over 500 wins. There's not going to be a pitcher that's going to win as many games as Cy Young did.
No.
I think
that's so far. Like that record is nobody even getting close to that ever.
Just because the game's not going to be played that way any longer, and you're not going to play long enough. Even if the game is played the way it was played back in the day, where wins were the most important thing for a pitcher, no one's going to play long enough to get 511 wins. I don't know why that number sounds familiar.
Games? Come on, man.
Yeah, but even if they did go back to, and I think stolen bases will come back in vogue. I hope that's part of the get down for the Giants this year. That they will be a team that will emphasize the stolen base. But even if you do emphasize the stolen base once again in Major League Baseball, you're going to have that re-emphasization. I don't know if I said that right, along with somebody as good and as special as Ricky Henderson. And the two of those things lining up at the exact same time, I don't necessarily see that happening.
Yeah, because clearly nobody cares about hitting for average anymore. So that's not going to be a thing.
No, because you don't get paid to do that. You don't get paid. I mean, the Giants going to have a guy in Luis Ariz who is going to hit for average. He's going to hit close to or maybe even a little bit beyond 300. And I see that there is some value in that. But look at us getting into a baseball discussion, and we didn't want to get into a baseball discussion. We can't help ourselves.
Well, because
baseball
it's interesting.
Because it is interesting. There's no doubt. But the knock on Ariz is, at the expense of him being a very good contact hitter and putting the ball in play and hitting the ball for average close to or above 300. He's not a dude who hits for a lot of power. He's a guy who hits into a lot of outs. So, the game is, the game has changed in terms of what what is valued by the teams and what fans find to be interesting and
what value do you think Tony Gwynn would have in today's game?
That's an excellent question because he's one of the greatest hitters of all time. But when you think great hitters, people sort of naturally gravitate to guys with power.
Yep.
And Tony Gwynn, that just wasn't his get down. I think that if Tony Gwynn, when he was a younger player and the game was different, if somebody said, Tony Gwynn, we want you to hit for power, I think Tony Gwynn would have hit for power, and he would have hit for power very well because he was such a great hitter. He was such a great athlete, and his hand-eye coordination, obviously, is some of the greatest probably in human history. But the game was different, and he didn't necessarily need to do that. Definitely was not asked to do that. So he was a guy who didn't strike out at all and constantly put the ball in play, which is the right thing to do. I think making the defense move, making the defense work, I would rather you do that than strike out. Man, it's
interesting. I want somebody to put the bat on the ball.
Baseball is much more interesting when the ball is in play because that means guys are moving. That means you're getting more people than the hitter and the batter involved in the game. That wasn't the way Tony Gwynn got down. And that was definitely action in the game.
Was he a 3-hitter?
That sounds about right. Yeah. He definitely wasn't a leadoff. He was 3-hitter. I will say that even without even having to look at anything. Tony Gwynn would, be the quintessential 3-hitter. But I think the answer to your question before we move on is, could Tony Gwynn play now? Yes. But what's funny is he would that's the question. And, would he be a 3-hitter in today's baseball?
Not a chance.
Probably not, because
he might be a 6.
Or 1.
That was exactly where I was going to put him.
I mean, Yeah, with the stolen base not being valued as it once was. Yeah, Tony Gwynn at the top of your lineup. Yeah, you might be able to actually put him there at 2. But
2, because he ain't striking out.
He's not striking out at all.
Out. Yeah.
And while he was a bigger guy, he was an athlete, great point guard, great basketball player. So he wasn't terrible on the bases. But yeah, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if he's either 1, 2, or 6 in your lineup.
There's no way he's any of those power positions.
Yeah.
No way.
I mean, listen, if you want baseball to get back to what it once was, bring back the greenies. Yes, more amphetamines in baseball. That's more guys with their pupils just as big as saucers. Just more guys just like just out there zooted out.
By the way, I am. This happens to me every time the Olympics roll around. I don't really give a shit until I do. And then Alyssa Leo was I'm just captivated by her. Oakland girl, you know how it is. If I see somebody representing Oakland, I'm going to jump on right away. So shout out to her for repping the Bay in the Olympics, picking up 2 gold. Love it.
It was a beautiful thing. It was an absolutely beautiful thing. I love the picture. Oh, gosh, I'll see if I can find it here. I love the picture that someone posted on Twitter where she's got the gold medal and she's right, she's doing the Mac Dre, and right under her is the famous picture. If you're from the Bay or in the Bay, it's a famous picture of Mac Dre, with a chain on, kind of, popping his collar and making, is that the fist face? I don't know. The fist face. Like, man, she is Oakland to the core. It's absolute core. Yeah, man. So no, shout out her. I mean, that was an amazing performance. Just from an athletic standpoint, you think about the guy, American male figure skater Mullen, who, he just crumbled under the pressure. And then you see Alyssa Liu, who's just like, pressure is only something that you allowed to be placed on yourself and allowed to affect you. And she went out there and was as free as a bird, man. And to see her do it, to have that mindset and then to back it up athletically, that's what this whole thing that we talk about, that we love, that's what this whole thing is all about, is that somebody going out there and not allowing the pressure of the moment to determine how they perform. She did that beautifully.
That's facts, dude. I love that. This is some really heady stuff from a 20-year-old kid. And the fact that she's like, no, I don't care about, literally says, I don't care about the competition. I'm just there to perform. That's amazing. Of course,
the Olympics. That's one of the most watched sporting events in the world.
Crazy. They're debating in the comments about Alyssa being from Richmond. Yes, she was from Richmond. She's raised in Richmond, but she claims Oakland. And we're not going to be pedantic about this, are we?
I'm
going to let people be what they claim. If she says she's from Oakland, I'm going to say she's from Oakland. Daddy call him Clay. I'll call him Clay.
Snoop grew up in Long Beach. We're going to say that Snoop's not from LA? We're not going to be pedantic about this, are we? Come on now. Bay Area, we're better. I mean, it's not like she's from Stockton and she's claiming Oakland. Really? Come on, exactly. Man. Listen.
Exactly.
Richmond, Vallejo, and Berkeley. Let's keep it funky. That's all Oakland. All right. Let's keep it funky.
I mean, it is true. You ain't lying. Alameda, they say they from Oakland. Like,
what are we doing? Come on now.
You ain't even lying.
Let's all enjoy the week.
Listen, if you're from the Bay, you say you're from San Francisco or Oakland or San Jose.
You gonna tell me that girl, all right, with that hair, with her, what was it, her frenulum pierced?
Yeah.
All right. And paying homage to Mac Dre. You gonna tell me that girl's not from Oakland? Like, that's the game we're gonna play right now. Come on now.
This town biz up there, baby.
Let me tell you something. Say she ain't from Oakland. I guarantee you, she won't pay for nothing in Oakland for the rest of her natural life.
You saw that Fenton's already told her that she'd get free ice cream for life when she go to.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. Which, by the way, is better than a gold medal if we're being real.
You ain't even lying.
Like, I can show my homies my gold medal, but if I took all my homies to the ice cream shop and we got busy, I'm just saying, free ice cream for life trumps a gold medal.
Fenton's too? Oh yeah. We
doing
this.
Exactly.
We doing this.
Exactly. Someone said though, and this is absolutely true. The fact that Alyssa Liu will not be able to throw out the first pitch at A's opening day, Oakland A's opening day, stinks. She'll throw it out, I'm sure, at a Giants game. Maybe she'll throw it out at a Sacramento A's game. But for Alyssa Liu to not be able to throw out the first pitch on opening day at an Oakland A's game is one of the many shames of the A's not being in Oakland because of John Fisher following the shithead owner playbook.
Pathetic.
But she's going to go to a Warrior game here in the not too distant future. I don't have this on any authority, just a guess on my part, but it's a good guess. She's going to go to a Warriors game here in the not too distant future, and she is going to get a long, loud, and very deserved, might I add, ovation. Speaking of the Warriors, in action this week at the Pelicans of New Orleans, the Memphis Grizzlies, and then back home to take on the Lakers on Saturday night at Chase Center. Steph Curry still dealing with knee problems, runner's knee. He will be reevaluated in the not too distant future. Kristaps Porzingis, who made his debut last week, looked pretty good in the process, albeit in a Warrior loss. Kristaps Porzingis did not play yesterday, was too sick to get out of bed, and did not make the trip to New Orleans and Memphis. Draymond Green, who didn't play yesterday, and we will get into that, did make the trip. His back, which flared up, I guess, in pregame warmups or in shoot-around yesterday, his back started barking at him, did not play, and the Warriors went on to play one of, if not their best offensive game of the year. Warriors beating the Denver Nuggets, and a lot of people noticed, Marcus, how much the ball moved, how the turnovers were down. Warriors only had 15 turnovers, and how much better the Warriors offense looked with Draymond Green not playing in yesterday's game. Warriors made 48 field goals and assists on 42 of those 48 field goals. Okay? By the way, Steph didn't play, for those of you who were unaware of that. Really interesting to hear Denver Nuggets coach David Adelman say after the game that the Warriors without Draymond caught the Nuggets by surprise because the Warriors had 5 shooters on the floor. And that tells you clearly that the Nuggets game plan was to, if Draymond were there, was to sag off of Draymond and basically do what teams have been doing all year long, and that is dare Draymond Green to shoot. I'm going to drop this piece of video here from Moses Moody, and he explains from his own personal experience and with great detail about how the Warriors offense looked yesterday against the Nuggets without Draymond Green.
To our offense, ball was moving. I don't know how many, we had a lot of assists. That's what happens when guys touch the ball. Defense has to work, change sides of the floor, make an open pass, making the game simple. And I think that's what we were able to do, and that's why so many guys have a good game.
Wound up with 42 assists to give you the number right there. How can you feel the ball movement early on and have it lead into a whole 4 quarters?
Yeah, because everybody gets touches. It might not be a shot, it might not be an assist, nothing that shows up, but it's always good when multiple guys touch the ball in the possession, because usually that means the ball went from one side of the floor to the other side of the floor, maybe back to the other side of the floor. And that means the defense had to do the same thing, and that's a lot of work to do that for a whole game.
can't argue with the results. Now the Nuggets are playing their third game in 4 days. The Nuggets are one of the worst teams defensively in all of the NBA, but 42 assists on 48 made shots, and a Warriors offense, Marcus, that looked a whole lot better. That was a pretty loud signal yesterday that no Draymond Green on the floor for the Warriors offensively. Everybody looks and feels a whole lot better about the situation.
Yeah, I've been. This has been Draymond Green's worst year, all around. And I think if he's not being the offensive catalyst in terms of getting assists and quarterbacking the offense, and if he's not playing consistently great defense, he can definitely hurt you. On the other hand, I believe that this is a lot of fool's gold. I think it's a lot of fool's gold. This Warriors team. Here's the great part. I credit Steve Kerr for having a team that is engaged and it is not tanking. It is not quitting. They go out there, they play hard every day or every night. But I don't know what any of this means. For me, it's just at this point, there's no Steph Curry, there's no Jimmy Butler. I don't think this means anything. I think people aren't taking. I shouldn't say anything. I don't think it's as important as other people think it is. I still think the team is good. I don't think they're very good. I think they'll be competitive no matter who's there. And then they still have the same problems in that their bench players only play well at home. They're wildly inconsistent. True. And until all of that changes, we really can't make any judgments other than they're going to play hard every night.
I'll tell you what it means, but I want to point out first this graphic that I have up just to give some context. This is Draymond Green's partial line scores for his last 5 games. Now you see far right-hand corner or far right-hand column, a couple of double-digit games against San Antonio and against Memphis, 17 points and 14 points respectively, and 12 rebounds in that San Antonio game. But you look at the Memphis game, 14 points, 7 turnovers for Draymond Green. You see a goose egg in 19 minutes in the game against the Boston Celtics. You see 5 points in 24 minutes in a game against the Phoenix Suns. Draymond Green, to your point, offensively, Marcus, has been very, very, very below average for the overwhelming majority of the games that he's played. And I don't think that you can, not saying that you are, but I don't think that you can dismiss how much more of a flow the Warriors offense has, particularly, and not that the Warriors can live like this, which is going to get to the point about what does any of this mean right now and what it could mean for the future for the Warriors. Living without Steph is not something that the Warriors can do to the point where they can get into the playoffs and then thrive in the playoffs. Obviously, Steph is the catalyst. But when they don't have Steph, and these games are important because they're only, I believe, a game or half a game back, the Warriors are, of the Phoenix Suns for the 7th seed. And Phoenix is going to be without Dillon Brooks, no relation, because he broke his hand, and he's going to be out for several weeks. So I do think that we don't know how long Steph's going to be out. The talk is that after this next reevaluation, he will be back in the mix, and you cross your fingers for that. But the Warriors are going to have to play, again, more than a handful of games without Steph Curry. If you have these games without Steph Curry, and there is, unfortunately, a reliance on bench players, just to use that term, you could clearly see that they're more comfortable, and the offense is much better when Draymond's not there, and you have to rely on these bench players. So I just think that there has to be some sort of they got to find a middle ground, because Draymond's going to play, and you need him defensively. And hopefully if Porzingis can stay healthy, which again is a big if, he doesn't have to play the 5 So he's going to give you more defensively, and maybe because he's not playing the 5, he'll be able to contribute more offensively. But the main thing with Draymond, and this is even when Steph is there, but definitely when he's not there, the ball sticks. They don't swing it from side to side. The younger players, the guys who maybe don't feel as comfortable to be as demonstrative, they don't get involved in the offense. It bogs down. That's exactly what teams who are playing the Warriors want. They don't want the ball to move. They want it to stick. They want Draymond to shoot, and then they want Draymond to handle the ball and for it to be turned over. Contextually, again, Denver's not a very good defensive team. That was their 3rd game in 4 nights yesterday. But I think for the Warriors to have a game offensively where things were flowing and they know they can play that way, that's really, really important, because I do think that they can string together some games and get themselves in a position to where they might actually be in a good position having to play the play-in tournament if they're the 7th seed.
Yeah, you may have more faith in them than I do. I just don't think that they are. I just don't. I mean, I'm being honest. I just don't think that they are a team that is this happens all year long. These guys, the guys on the bench, the also-rans, hate to say it, but these guys will have a couple of good games in a row, and everybody's – how many times have we heard X player needs to be starting because X player has strung together 4 or 5 good games? This person needs to be starting. They need to be playing more. And then that person starts to get that role, and then the more they get, the less effective they become. We had the Pat Spencer thing. We had Quentin Post at the beginning of the year. We had Moses Moody is probably – he's picking it up now, but even he is wildly inconsistent.
Sure.
Keith Santos has become a little more consistent. But I mean, again, I could be completely wrong. I just have zero faith in these guys in terms of consistency. If I could see this consistently for another couple of weeks, my tune might change a little bit. But I've seen this too many times this year where folks get excited about blah, 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 and then the same old shit. And then the other thing they're going to think about is when Steph comes back, because the other part of that offense is we swing the ball to get it to Steph. Like we're trying to force the ball to Steph Curry. That may have to change too.
Ooh, that's a big change. But I tell you what, if Keith Santos keeps hitting shots, you feel pretty comfortable about that ball finding him. If guys feel more empowered and they feel more involved in the offense, then maybe because listen, we know what the get down is going to be with Steph there and with Steph not being there. They're going to shoot a crap load of threes.
Yep.
All right. Everybody's going to get all they can eat. If you have 5 guys on that floor, or at least 4 guys on that floor, even with Draymond out there, but if you have 4 guys on that floor that at least give varying degrees of threats in terms of being able to make 3-pointers, we know how the game is now. All you have to do is just make enough at the right time.
See, that's my feeling about it. I don't think the Draymond thing would be as relevant if you had 1 or even 2 other guys who was consistent, and they don't have that, and they haven't had that.
Yeah.
And without that, you have to deal with whatever Draymond's situation is. We don't have the guys who we know are going to give me 16, 17, 18 points every night, because that's what they need. They have no idea who that person is.
Yeah, but because they don't have that one person, they're going to need 3 guys to give you that 18 to 25 points per game. But I think that's kind of the box that they're in right now. They don't have a Klay Thompson that you could pencil in for 15 to 25 points, depending on the situation. So because they don't have that, if they can get that combination, that 15 to 25 points from Santos, from Podziemski, from Melton, from who am I missing? I'm missing one more guy. And not
Pods.
I already said Pods. If they could get it from one more, if they can get it from Porzingis, they could get those 3 to 4 guys. Post Porzingis, the combination of the 2, one of those 2, whatever. If you could get those 3 to 4 to 5 guys to give you 15 to 25 to 28 points, then I think the Warriors are feeling pretty good about themselves. But I don't think you can get to that point on a somewhat consistent basis if you don't have games like they had yesterday where the ball is moving. And as Moody said, and I played that soundbite, he clearly wasn't shitting on Draymond, but he was just making a point that we all saw. When everybody's involved and the ball's moving from side to side, if this is basketball 101, whether it's the NBA or whether you're talking about third graders playing basketball, if everybody feels like they have a chance to touch the ball, everybody is more engaged, definitely on the offensive side of the floor, and you might be able to get some residual effect of guys being more engaged on the defensive side of the floor.
Well, this is what Coach Kerr's offense is meant to be. It's meant to be ball movement. Everybody touches it, and it's become so Steph-centric the past 3 years. You kind of end up losing because it stops when it gets to Steph.
Kind of as it should.
I got no complaint about it, but you also see what happens when Steph doesn't have a Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, or even a Sean Livingston, or somebody who you know for a fact is going to give you consistent numbers every night.
But that's the thing; it shouldn't stop with Draymond Green.
No.
So it's going to be an interesting couple of games for Draymond Green. Because we all saw it yesterday, and I'm sure he saw it yesterday. And not that his days are numbered, not that he's going to be sitting on the bench, and not that you can't trade him.
Already said that he may not be closing games. I mean,
but that's kind of where I'm going here.
He's already said that.
Is that you might, if this keeps up, or if it goes south, you might see some changes in terms of his usage for sure. And I think you have to do that, because if Draymond being out there is coming at the expense of other players being able to contribute in the way that they need to, and it comes at the expense of winning games, then you're going to have to make a move. You're 100% going to have to make a move.
I think that's a given. I think that Coach Kerr has no qualms about doing that. And he's already told him, like, yeah, dude, you may not be closing these games no more. So,
especially if you turn the ball over.
Yeah, if you turn the ball over. Yeah. Steph Curry is the only person who's allowed to have a bunch of turnovers. Yeah. After that, it becomes daunting. And this is not good enough to overcome a bunch of turnovers at this point.
As big as the 42 assists on the 48 made shots was, there's 15 turnovers. That I think if you ask Steve Kerr, probably was the thing that he was most excited about. And again, you just look at these turnover numbers for Draymond, in his last 5 games. Obviously 7 turnovers against Memphis in 24 minutes, but he just turns the ball over entirely too much. But again, to his in his defense, he ain't a point guard.
Yeah, I mean, if he was consistently having 1 or 2 turnovers a game, then you'd live with that. But that's not where he lives, and nor the Steph.
Nope, not at all. So again, the Warriors quick 2-game trip to New Orleans and to Memphis, and then they finish the week with the Lakers this upcoming Saturday.
To win those teams are tanking, so we should get some W's.
That's what I was going to say, is that the Warriors clearly are a team that is not whole, and it's a team that has some flaws. But you look at who they have coming up. There's some teams who are engaging in some just robust, but naked tanking. But naked.
It bugs me. And there's not really a whole lot anybody can do about it, but it bugs me. Only a little bit. It doesn't bug me as much as it bothers other people, but it's still annoying. But see, here's the thing. When my team is playing those tanking teams, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
The Utah Jazz.
What the hell is going on with the Rockets?
They don't have a point guard.
This was my pick. I know they got a couple of injuries. I know Steven Adams, is he out for the year?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Steven Adams, I know for every I did not think the Van Vliet injury would be this big a deal.
That's the one.
They
don't have a point guard. And thinking back to the game that they lost to the Knicks this past weekend, last Saturday night, you have a point guard. You don't have Kevin Durant not getting that last shot in that game. If you have a point guard, you get much better decisions made by that Rockets team. That's is going to be their undoing. They just don't have a point guard, and Ime Udoka is for some reason he's not playing Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd is not necessarily a quintessential point guard, but I think that if given the opportunity, he could turn into that when needed at times and also give you the shooting that you need. But for the Rockets, their big problem, not Kevin Durant talking mad crazy about his teammates on burner accounts under pseudonyms. It's just that they don't have a point guard. They don't have a point guard.
Boy, listen, I feel like whatever team Kevin Durant is on, if you got 30 seconds left in the game, he needs to be getting the ball. Period, point blank, end of story. And I do not understand the thinking around these young players not getting this dude the ball. Literally one of the greatest players of all time. Literally one of the greatest offensive players of all time. They literally brought him there so that he could be the guy who gets the bucket at the end of the game. And it blows my mind that people don't even think about this. Watching Jabari Smith take that shot, and of course, what are we doing?
Just, hey man, we're just playing freelance basketball, baby.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Just playing freelance basketball. Just, hey man, we're just gonna get our shots up. It's like just being out there at 24-hour fitness. Dudes just out there just getting a run. But for the Rockets right now, they don't have a point guard. And they have enough talent to where they're going to be able to get by with it, but they just don't have. Not having a point guard is going to be a problem. But you see tonight, they're playing Utah. Speaking of teams are tanking, Utah is doing it on a molecular level. I mean, the Rockets just a much more talented team than Utah, so they're beating them right now, 112-93 with 5 and change left to go. But you start to see good teams like they saw against the Knicks, like you're going to see in the Western Conference playoffs, not having somebody who could get guys in order or get the ball to the right people, most notably Kevin Durant in the right situations. If you don't have that, squad's going to prey on that. The better the team, the more they're going to prey on that.
Facts. Boston might be the best team in the league, by the way.
Yeah, they look pretty good. San Antonio had a nice win tonight against the Pistons, and the Pistons ain't no slouch.
Pistons are good.
Man. Pistons are good, but we need to start having real conversations about the Spurs, and those conversations need to go beyond, or it's not their time, or they're too young. Spurs might be on one right now, brother.
Facts. You are not lying. And if they have play OKC, they might spank them.
Yeah, it's going to be a 7-game series for sure, because that is the one team that Oklahoma City does not match up well against, and that is, of course, the San Antonio Spurs. Moving on, and we've had this discussion before. Boxing is just a joke. Can't take it seriously, and it's hard to take it seriously when you keep getting stuff like this. We didn't want to see this the first time.
No.
Now we're getting Mayweather Pacquiao 2.
No.
The sequel that absolutely no one asked for. 15 years ago, Mayweather Pacquiao would have been hot as fish grease.
Yeah.
Mayweather Pacquiao and the big 2026, don't nobody want to see this shit.
Not at all. I have zero interest in that fight. Zero interest.
None.
And I'll be completely frank with you. I have boycott is probably the too strong word, but I've told people many times, I'm not watching another Floyd Mayweather fight. Like I haven't his last 6 fights. I'm like, I'm cool. I ain't watching that shit. I don't want to see. I don't give a damn how good you are defensively. I don't want to see you running around a ring, running from somebody for 12 pounds. Sorry, I'm old school. I guess I want to see dudes stand up and box. This is why I don't put Mayweather in my top 10 boxers of all time.
Now,
you don't fight.
You do know that there are some people who would fight you for that.
Yeah.
Reasoned and also opinion that is shared by many people.
Yeah. They can talk all they want. And maybe it's because I'm old and I saw other boxers, but not this dude.
You saw guys actually fight.
actually fight. And by the way, who were as good, if not as close to being as good defensively.
Defensively, yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard would have spanked Floyd Mayweather, and he was as good defensively as Mayweather.
Yeah.
And I just can't. I mean, let's also talk about how he fought a bunch of dudes when they were old already, when they couldn't beat him because they were old.
What I was going to bring up is that I think it's a very fair point when people say that Floyd Mayweather, who is I think he has the skills, but then he realized that he could be a defensive boxer and he could protect that goose egg on the other end of his record. He could protect that, and he could also schedule guys that were not going to be as big of a threat. And I try to be very careful with stuff like this, and it's just for me, just to be fair. Not that Floyd Mayweather deserves anybody's fairness or grace because of the type of person he has chosen to be in public and in private. But I like when you say someone quit, like you better have, in my estimation, you better have evidence of that, because that's a very strong charge. And to me, equally as strong, maybe even stronger in the boxing game, is when you say that a guy was ducking someone or made a living of ducking people. But to your point, just a little while ago, it sure seems like Floyd Mayweather was being very strategic in the fights he took.
Yeah.
To make sure that his perfect record stayed intact. And it sure seemed like he waited to see when the time was right for Floyd Mayweather to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Yes. Yeah, all the excuses to not fight Pacquiao. There's always an excuse to not fight somebody when they're in their prime. And Floyd was he was much more interested in offensive boxing when he was younger.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the skills were there. Like, it's absolutely undeniable. But when he decided to make that shift to being a defensive boxer, to be protective, of himself, understandably in the ring, but also of his legacy, I'm with you in that regard in terms of I didn't find his decision and his style to be that interesting. But your mileage may vary, because there's a lot of people who really dug on what Floyd Mayweather was doing, and to each his own, I guess.
Oh yeah, I hear it all the time. Even now they tell me, "Oh, but you gotta love that." You made me almost. You ain't care nothing about no defense until now, because you see this dude with a 41 and 0 record. Get out of here! Everybody watch a motherfucker duck people and get out of here. Get out of here.
So yeah, Mayweather, Pacquiao, number 2. The first one we got was not good, but yeah, the second one,
garb, and they need the money.
I'm good.
Well, I know Pacquiao needs the money, and I have a feeling Floyd needs the money too.
This definitely seems like a money grab. I don't see either one of those guys actually going in there, and I'm sure this thing is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be crazy exhibition like where they're both wearing pillows on their hands, but I'm pretty sure that these guys are not going to go into it like it's a real legitimate fight. There's going to be, I'm sure, some contractual contractual things that will be.
It's going on the record.
It's
going on the record.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be protecting that undefeated record against washed up Pacquiao.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Yeah. My man saying there's going to be a no from me, dog.
Exactly it.
And even Escobar is like, the point of boxing is to not get hit. I just can't stand Floyd. Yeah, I mean, Dom is nice. If this was, it would be better as a celebrity death match claymation. It absolutely would be. Oh, man. So, yeah, the state of boxing, that's where we are right now. Mayweather, Pacquiao. I also saw something. I don't know if this is real or legitimate, but supposedly Mayweather and Mike Tyson are going to engage in some fisticuffs.
I saw that as well. I mean,
I don't want to see that either. I don't want to see that. I
do not want to see that.
I do not want to see that.
Because it was real. Well. It was a real fight. Floyd Mayweather would be asleep within the first 45 seconds of round one.
I mean, the thought is that yes, in this hypothetical fight, and hopefully it stays in a hypothetical, that Mike Tyson would be the one that would have the advantage. But I mean, after what we saw with whatever the Paul brother was, I forget which one it was. It was like, oh man, you just like, oh, Mike Tyson is an old man. Oh no, oh no. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't stand in front of him while he was throwing haymakers.
Also, I feel like Mike wasn't really trying to put that dude down either.
Yeah, again, that's where the contractual stipulations. Clearly, Mike was pulling some punches. Or Mayweather and Pacquiao, are they going to be up to some nonsense? Or are they going to be pulling some punches as well? Let's get to a little bit on this date. Here. And you saw a preview of on this date. And on this date, February 23rd, in 1985, one of the biggest assholes in the history of American sports was an asshole.
Fred Jasper's now chasing Bobby Knight back to his chair.
And
he's got him right there. There's the tee.
Technical against the bench against Bob Knight. Steve Reed, an excellent free throw shooter, will have the honors shooting the technicals.
Looky here. Bobby Knight just threw his chair clear across the free throw lane.
And I think Fred
unbelievable. He picked up another tee.
God, what an asshole.
Now Fred Jasper is called for athletic director Ralph Floyd.
Fred Jasper's talking to Mr. Floyd down in the corner.
Two things I didn't know. I didn't know that Bobby Knight was yelling at his brother, doing it during Black History Month. For shame, Bobby Knight, for shame. I had no idea that he was yelling at a brother. And I also had no idea that this little interaction took place
technical against the bench and against Bob
within
Knight.
the first 5 minutes of the game. I had always thought, because I didn't see this live, I'd always thought that Bobby Knight had reached the boiling point due to bad calls over the course of this entire game. Nope. This game was like 11-6 with 5 minutes elapsed when Bobby Knight went full Bobby Knight and threw that chair across the lane on this date, February 23rd, 1985.
What a dick.
Just world-class asshole. One of my least favorite people.
And the bootlicking and booty hole of Bob Knight just grosses me out.
Oh my God.
And even more so, like when I was in my 20s, it disturbed me. As a teenager, it disturbed me, but as a grown man now, it really bothers me even more.
Yeah, he was a bully.
Looks. He built men. That's what they always say. He made men. Like, get the fuck out of here.
No.
Sorry.
He was a bully that threw his weight around, knowing that the players couldn't do anything about it, knowing that officials, in essence, were powerless, and the bigger he got. And he won games. I mean, I think you could separate Bobby Knight, the person, from Bobby Knight, the coach. Bobby Knight, the coach, is easily one of the greatest of all time. All right.
And he didn't have to be that way to win those games.
No, he didn't. But I think, and it was a different time, obviously. But the more he won, clearly he was emboldened. Yep. And, his downfall, because he thought that he was bigger than the university, but he stayed the same, but society around him changed. And you couldn't yell at players like that anymore. You couldn't bully officials. And he thought, all right, I could still bully the administration at Indiana University And then he found out, because again, the world changed and he didn't. He found out that he couldn't bully the administration, and he eventually got fired.
And then wasn't he like bringing whips and shit to the practices for the black players and all that?
God, that does sound somewhat familiar.
This dude.
I'm not a fan. I never have been, and never will be. But you still find people out there that are Bobby Knight fans or apologists or whichever way.
Can you imagine, Rod?
You want to look at it?
Your son playing for Bobby Knight and him out there. Man, who was the kid he choked? Remember he choked?
Yeah, in practice.
I would come running out the stands and bust that dude right in the face. If he ever, man, you kidding me?
But you know what though? Isaiah Thomas played for it.
No, which kind of says a lot.
Isaiah Thomas, all right, from
kind of says a lot.
From either the south side or west side of Chicago. I forget exactly, but Isaiah Thomas went to play for Bobby Knight. So again, it was just a different time. He was a fossil, he was a dinosaur, and the world changed. He didn't, and it eventually caught up to him. But he got away with a lot because he won. Yep. But even slinging that chair across the court, even people thought that might be a bridge too far. There you go, Bobby Knight going full Bobby Knight on this date, February the 23rd. Technical difficulties will stop us from giving you more on this date and finishing the show as we always do with the best thing that I saw today. So my apologies for those technical difficulties. We'll get back to our regular get down on Thursday when we resume Quality Hang. In the meantime, we'd like to thank once again our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns, 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. Check them out. You will not be disappointed. And to the Quality Hangers in the chat and all of you out there, even the ones that didn't decide to get into the chat, we appreciate your patronage, and we do it for who? We do it for you. I was just doing the math. Today is our 89th episode of Quality Hang, and we are rapidly approaching the 1-year anniversary of Quality Hang. I don't remember the exact date, but it's somewhere in the middle of April. So Marcus, we are closing in on a couple of milestones, closing in on 100 episodes, and closing in on our 1-year anniversary, and maybe, just maybe, those 2 milestones will actually line up, and maybe we'll have a little double celebration. I'm into it, in the not too distant future. So, man, been a whole lot of fun.
That live. So if somebody wants to sponsor a live Quality anniversary show, we do this.
We might have to do that. We might have to get our friends involved. We might have to get our friends. We might have to get the PMP Army involved. Who knows? We might end up having to do that. But we will see you all again on Thursday. Have yourselves a fantastic week. And as always, be good and be good at it. We will see you. Bye. I only have